E-invoicing has been implemented in India from January 2020 on a voluntary basis. It will subsequently be rolled out from April 2020 onwards as a mandatory requirement for enterprises with an annual turnover greater than 100 crores in a phased manner. Let's start by understanding why India felt the need to implement e-invoicing. Currently, there is no standard definition and model for invoices that could ensure machine readability across the business ecosystem, eliminating data entry errors. So, the need has been felt of having a standard to ensure complete interoperability of e-invoices across the B2B ecosystem. E-invoicing will help curb tax evasion and eliminate fake invoices, reduce reporting in multiple formats, auto-filing of GST return and e-way bill Part A details, enhance efficiency of the tax administration process with ease of compliance and reconciliation, substantially reduce ITC verification issues. Let's understand the workflow of e-invoicing. The seller needs to generate the e-invoice in JSON format from ERP or billing system with all mandatory fields as provided in e-invoice schema. Now, the invoice has to be uploaded in JSON format on a portal defined by the government as Invoice Registration Portal, which is IRP. After this, IRP will generate the invoice reference number, which is the IRN, for that invoice and digitally sign the invoice with QR code, which will contain all the key information of the e-invoice. Once IRN is generated, IRP will push the digitally signed JSON along with an IRN and QR code to the seller. Finally, the IRP will transmit the data with invoice details along with IRN details to ANX 1 of the seller and ANX 2 of the buyer. It will also transmit the data to the NIC portal where Part A of e-way bill will be auto-populated. Part B is to be generated by the users themselves. The seller needs to have its own tool to transform the JSON into a printable invoice along with the seller's logo if required and so on. It is not mandatory for the seller to sign or digitally sign an invoice anymore. So, what does the e-invoice schema look like? There are 18 sections consisting of a total of 133 fields. Out of the 18 sections, 8 are mandatory and 10 are optional. Within 8 mandatory sections, 34 fields are mandatory and 46 are optional. Within 10 optional sections, 17 fields are mandatory and 35 are optional. If you opt for any optional section, these are mandatory fields. Key points to remember before you start e-invoicing. Types of transactions covered: B2B, B2G, export through e-commerce operators and reverse charge transactions. Types of documents covered: invoices, debit notes and credit notes. The documents that are not covered are delivery challan, bill of supply and job works. Cancellation is allowed only fully, no partial cancellation within 24 hours on IRP, after which it can be amended on GSTN. Amendments, if any, could be possible only on GSTN portal. Printing of invoices, including logo and other information, would be possible the same way as today. E-invoicing schema has both the mandatory and the optional fields. Users can go only with the mandatory fields. Signature of the seller would not be a mandatory requirement. To know more about e-invoicing and how ClearTax can help you get ready for the transition, write to india-sales@cleartax.in.